Thank you ever so much for joining the Daily Sales Show hosted by Sell Better. I'm your host today. My name is Will, and I am joined by the wonderful, the one, the only Darren McKee. How are you doing today, Darren?
I'm good, man. There is another Darren McKee, but he wrote all the Barney books. So yeah, we're not in the same area. But yeah, I'm so glad to be here.
That's it. There's a few Will Aikens as well, but I got willaiken.com, so I won the website war. All right. But yes, today we're going to be talking about how to optimize your LinkedIn profile. And as part of that, anyone who attends, you can send your LinkedIn profile to us in the chat. Just make sure it's sent to everyone. And we're going to literally live review and give you some positive and potentially some improvement feedback on your LinkedIn profile if you're looking for it. To start, we're going to talk about a couple of ways just generally that you can think about LinkedIn profiles, but it's worth mentioning. If you drop your LinkedIn profile in the chat, we will go through it and spend a minute on it, and we're hoping for reviews. Start dropping them in now so that when we get to that point, we'll actually have some to look at. I want to say a big thank you to our partner today, a company called Aligned. If you don't know who Aligned are, they are a deal room solution, and I can actually show you a deal room, what that might look like. I use them personally as a way to send proposals and extra resources as follow-up when I'm talking to new customers. Walk up through the timelines and deliverables of what I'm offering, share any resources, call recordings, those types of things, and any other supplementary resources. It's a great collaborative space. And the best part is when they go in this, I can see and get a read of how hot or warm or cold, hopefully not, that deal actually is. We're going to look at a couple of top tips that anyone can use. And then we want you to send us your LinkedIn profiles in the chat. If you're open to it, we promise to be nice to a certain extent and promise that we'll be somewhat helpful. So Darren, ahead of time, I know that we were chatting about maybe showing a couple of what good looks like before we get in,
Yeah.
so we have a benchmark. I know that you've got a profile that you like to show to people by the name of,
His name's
here he
Mike.
is, Mike Fada. What's going on here? What are we thinking about?
Yeah. I always share this when I always have to text him and be like, man, I'm not looking at your profile every day. I just use that example all the time in my trainings. So I think one of the things that I've worked a lot on with individuals is like, all right, that subject line it's got to be straightforward. It's got to be crisp, and I have to know exactly what you're doing by that subject line. I actually changed mine last week after talking to Mike and several others, and my profile views are at 47% in the last 7 days. So like it's impactful of being able to do that. I know there's credibility in his actual like picture at the very top, right? So there's some logos there. I think his picture is crisp. If you scroll down a little bit more too, you're able to see his features section. I know exactly what he does, how to get to what he does, the 3 areas of focus that he has. He's shared posts, comments, videos, images, newsletters, events, documents. He's using the platform the way it should be utilized. And so, yeah, man, it hits all the bullets for me. And other than it being the fact that you use dark mode, it drives me crazy. But
Sorry, do you not like your retinas? Anyone using light mode right now, get on dark mode LinkedIn. I'm all about it. I go on LinkedIn at nighttime. I don't want to hurt my eyes.
I love it. White mode is where it's at for the psychopaths out there.
That's it, right? I just picture a house that everything's just white furniture everywhere, like white bed sheets, white walls.
Dark.
But beautiful. That's great. And let's just talk through some of those things. So you called out a few things: profile picture, headline, featured section, active on the platform. Why are these things important for salespeople to make sure they're all over it if they're selling on LinkedIn?
Yeah, I mean, if you get lucky enough to where one of your prospects actually lands on your page, I think the latest statistic was like 3.2 seconds they end up on your page or they're out. And so that subject line has to capture them. And also, if they're searching, you kind of need to have those keywords in there that you'll come up in their filters. I think the picture is critical because I sell enterprise deals. If I can't put a good picture up, then I probably can't send a great contract or deliver on a great product. And so I always say that it's got to be filled out. It's got to look good because you're about to deliver a good product to them as well. Featured section is just you're using the platform the way it should be used, right? Those are there for a reason. You got to funnel them somewhere. And I think that's the key. And using the platform, you got to use every ounce of space that you can because they give it to you.
I hear you there. And I think to hammer home this point a little bit, I invite you to do the exact same thing, by the way, Darren. I'm going to drop my LinkedIn profile in the chat. And if you connect with me, I'll show you why these things matter to someone who's not already connected with you. So in the chat, there's a link to my LinkedIn profile. Just hit connect. Don't worry about adding a note or anything like that. And we'll have a look at what that looks like in just a moment. I'll highlight a profile that I like as well. I mean, there's one here from an ex-colleague of mine, Gabby Siddle. She sells a app called Slate App, and she sells to social media managers. I always like using her profile as an example because she's hitting all the same marks. She's got a smiley, happy photo. It looks like someone who's worth talking to. Her headline is just very simple. She's got a nice cover photo here that explains a little bit more about what her company does. And then she's actually active on the platform. She's by no means a content creator. I don't want everyone to feel like they have to go out there and create content. There's obviously advantages to doing that. But if you're in a sales role, then it's just advantageous to repost things or be commenting on other people's posts as well. just to make sure that people can see if they go on your profile, you're actually using the platform. You're not just using it to sell people, essentially. So those are the things we're thinking about. And in a moment, I'll show you what those connection requests look like as they come through for your prospects. But going over the kind of the top tips here, what we're thinking about, let's run through the must-haves for a good LinkedIn profile. Okay, number one, profile picture. What's your main thing there?
Yeah. You talking to me?
I'm talking to you. Ain't nobody here, so I must be.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be good, right? Years ago, you're like, all right, I got to go get a professional photo done. Your iPhone is completely fine. Find a really nice wall and have a friend take a picture and make sure it looks solid. And you're probably good to go. I actually told somebody this other day, smile. I was like, I don't want to do business with you. You look super grumpy. And you don't have to have the best smile in the world, but just a little smirk is fine. It's inviting. It makes me want to be able to message you. And so I think that's critical there. Number two, cover photo. I'm actually not the best at this, y'all. Like I could do a much better job. There are a lot that are floating around that, add that context, have an additional photo of yourself or not, point to the right direction on your profile. I think it's needed. And I think it's probably the area where most people could improve, quite frankly. What about you?
Yeah, I think cover photo, it's if someone clicks on your profile, then figure out what they might be looking for, generally a little bit more than what is on your profile picture headline, and give that to them. So if they click on your profile, they're probably looking to know what you do, how you might be able to help them, and answer those questions using that space. I frankly also haven't done a great job using my profile cover photo there, but that's some of my swag that I sell in my merch store. So I'm highlighting something and showing some personality there. The worst thing you can do is just leave this because it's just literally free money, free potential, free messaging at space. And I did say beforehand, the reason why these things matter, thanks ever so much for everyone connecting me real quick. When I'm connecting with someone, I've got three things to decide if I don't click on their profile, if I'm going to connect with them or not. You've got their name, I've got their photo, and then I've got this headline right here, if they haven't added a note. So based on this is your kind of only chance to either get ignored or accepted if you're not using any kind of notes. And most notes, by the way, are pretty bad. If you do a special note like this, that makes me happy, so I'm going to accept that. But a lot of them are just like, we swim in similar circles, in which case it's almost meaningless and not worth doing. So knowing that this is the only information you have, you're mainly your profile and your headline, it's best to optimize those things. I'm going to show you a few ways to do that as we go through here today, and I will accept all these connection requests, I promise. So with that said, let's just jump back into that, make sure we don't miss anything. Number 4 is recommendations. This was something you said in the pre-call when we're preparing for this one. Tell me about that.
I mean, I think these are coming back strong, right? I think people want to be able to land on one page and get everything from you versus going to like testimonial.io or whatever the other ones that people like will push you to. I've leaned hard into recommendations over the last 5 months, y'all. Anytime I coach somebody, anytime I sign a deal, anytime I help somebody out, I literally will just ask them for a recommendation. And 8 out of 10 times they fire it back over in 20 minutes. So I think I've got 60 something in there right now. I do give a good amount of them away too, right? If somebody does a good job for me, I'm going to write them a recommendation. They're great. You can also feature a recommendation in your featured section. So if you have a client that you did team coaching for, or you sold a deal to, and it was your largest customer and they write a review, like you can put it up there now. And that's something that's really beautiful. I think that's only for premier, users, but yeah. It's great.
So I hope that a lot of people in here either have Premium or Sales Navigator. It's one of the great sales tool, LinkedIn in general. It's basically, if you told someone about LinkedIn 20 years ago, they're like, all your buyers are on there, and you can see their name, their title, and what they're responsible for. People would be like, you're a liar. That's not possible. Now we've got this tool and we take it for advantage. So love that. And one thing I'll say about recommendations is, if you don't have any, a great way to get them is start giving them. People tend to reciprocate, and you can literally make someone's day and make someone smile. So think of an ex-colleague who really changed your work and who you really respect, and go write a recommendation. There was a little period last year where I wrote one every week for 20 weeks in a row, and just was a happy, feel-good thing to say nice things about other people. And a lot of those people actually went and wrote one back. So if you don't have any, that's a great way to go get some. Darren, let's start doing the audit. Okay. So we got some profiles in the chat. Some brave people have stepped up. I love to see it. That's a great trait for a salesperson.
Let's do it.
Let's go through some and give some feedback on some profiles.
I'll be very gentle here. I promise.
Okay. Don't be mean. We're not roasting. Okay. You wouldn't be mean anyway, Darren. You're too nice for that. You ready? Thank you everyone for sending your profiles. We're going to work for as many as we can. Let's start here. We got Jacob Harris.
Cool. Man, what a smile. I love it. I like the banner. I'd love to know a little bit more in the banner, right? So tell me a little bit more about Qualifax. Like we do this, or even add a couple logos to the right of Qualifax of who you support and why. Growing community support through healthcare technology. Copy that, drop it into Chat GPT and ask it to explain it to a 5th grader. What does that mean? And so one of the things that I think about here is like, all right, growing community support through healthcare technology. I don't really know what that means. Tell me a little bit more and break it down to a single line. I help this target market do this to excel in this, right? That's kind of how I'm thinking about this. Other than that, top part looks great. Looks like you're posting a good amount. Looks like you're commenting some. I would make sure that you're actually sharing some content here. You're sharing some images. You're sharing some videos. Right now, it looks like you've only done reposts. So, which is fine. Not everybody's a creator, but it could make you look like you stand out more if you had a bunch of other stuff here. And your last comment was a week ago. So I would tell you, engage more if you want your prospects to see your profile more, because that's how the algo works. But man, yeah, other than that, I think it's fine. I don't ever, unfortunately, I don't ever get down to the jobs section.
Yeah, me either.
But there is no about section.
I have noticed that.
So tell us a little bit about you, Jacob. What you do, what you like to do, because a lot of people read those a lot. And so I think it's critical. I also put my email and phone number there too.
Worth noting that section does also appear in keyword searches. So when recruiters or whoever might be trying to find you, that could potentially land you in more results. There is a little thing on your profile, which I recommend everyone just checking they've got done. When you edit your profile, there's an all-star status that LinkedIn talks about. It's worth just doing that because I'm pretty sure LinkedIn's going to help you get seen more on LinkedIn if you have that all-star status.
Yeah.
All right, next one, Ariana.
Your turn.
My turn. Okay, Ariana, straight up. Similar kind of feedback. This cover image is good. I love that you're using it. I think it's great to have your company there. Get more from your e-commerce marketing. I would almost, in some ways, maybe add a couple of logos here or some GT reviews or whatever it may be, just to add a little bit more. You've got all this space here, but it does look fantastic. Lovely photo, giving a little smirk there. I love that. E-commerce and retention marketing special at Yop2. I love helping brands grow online. I would almost move this around. Just do bang. I love helping brands grow online, or maybe get more specific on what problems they might be facing. So, hey, if you're not growing online, I'd love to help you, or maybe flip that around so it's more focused on the problem or challenge or status quo of people before you start working with them. But dope. About section, great. Featured section, awesome. You're obviously active on the platform, even if you're just reposting. We can't expect everyone to have time to go out there and create videos and posts and images and stuff like Darren and I do. If you can't do any more than that, this is what we should be looking for here. So if someone went in your profile like I just did, they could see, oh, there we go. Ariana is active on the platform. Outside of that, I think we're ready to move on to another one. It's your turn.
Let's do it.
Jeremy.
I kind of dig the background, right? Every once in a while, I like to see, oh man,
Vegas.
Looks like he likes Vegas. I think looks like, Jeremy, it looks like you might have took this picture yourself, just from, because I can see your arm coming forward, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I think it would be really impactful if you had somebody just take that straight on of you, which is great. And maybe the background is Vegas on your picture, and then a little bit about your business is the actual banner, right? Other than that, I think it's great. Momentous Technology, Senior Account Executive, Venue and Event Management Technology. Here's the thing. There are a lot, and I'm in a crowded market too. I sell executive coaching at scale. There are probably 100,000 people doing venue and event management technology. Why is Momentous better? And so the headline here could be something like, for the last 25 years, we've helped 642 businesses scale and grow through event management software. Like very specific to what you've done at Momentous. So people know that, all right, like this is actually real. But other than that, looks solid. Scrolling down, about section is there at Momentous. There's a little bit more detail here, which you can probably take some of this and put it in your headline. Great. Problem here, there's nowhere for me to reach out to you. I don't know how to reach out to you here. So add your email address somewhere here. Nobody's going to click the contact info up at the top, unfortunately. They want to see it here. Also, those are really good logos. Microsoft, Mercedes-Benz, Apollo, Theater, Google. Put those in that banner up top so people know who you work for. Featured section is solid. I actually don't know that I've ever seen. Is that moving?
Yeah,
okay. I've never seen someone put a GIF in a featured section. I absolutely love it. And it captured my attention. You're using the platform well down here. Comments, videos, images, newsletters, documents. Overall, man, I think this is good.
You might be the next example profile. Just to highlight for anyone who doesn't know how to do this featured section, if you go onto your profile, you can literally change this here. And as you add a link, let's say, or your email address even, let's just say linkedin.com, because I'm thinking my feet. And then in the thumbnail, that's where you can add the image. And in that, you can add a GIF, apparently, which I didn't even know. So thanks so much for teaching us something new today, Jeremy. And if you don't know how to make a GIF, go on Canva. It's so easy to use, and you can export as GIFs, and it's just going to level it up a little bit much.
You care if I do this one? Because I was in the PEO space.
Do it.
I spent years in the PEO space. So Jay, at the top, like one of the things that like I think about when I'm sharing here, this looks like a logo that was created several years back. I would refresh that a little bit, make it to where it's like really inviting to be at, maybe, you know, some cooler colors that are in there. I think your picture's fantastic. You look like a guy I would do business with and that I would trust. I love that. PEO veteran, 20 plus years, PEO professional. Here's the thing. Even in the PEO business, there are still a lot of people that don't know that stands for professional employer organization. And so what does that mean? And so like I help small businesses mitigate risks, make more money, and not have to worry about compliance through a PEO. Just tell us exactly what you do in that subject line to make people's jobs much, much easier. Go to the about section. Do you mind clicking see more a little bit here? All right. It's all work related, which is awesome. I would love to see a little bit of personal stuff here. What do you like to do? I think you like to fish because I see a picture of you holding a fish down below. Tell us a little bit about you so we know a little bit more about who Jay is. Because quite frankly, most of the time, people don't care about the companies they work with. They care about working with us. And so I'd rather work for the guy that catches a huge pike on a lake in New York than a guy that works for a PEO. So other than that, man, I think this is a solid one.
All right, we got a bunch more to get through here, and I let's look at the
Yep.
time. We've got 10 minutes, so we're going to go a fire round right now. Jackson Cromer, integrate building better leaders. It's a little bit hard to read, I won't lie, even on desktop, so you got to imagine how that's going to look on mobile as well. So I would even make some of this bigger. You've got all this empty space over here that you could be using, but I love that. Team builder, culture creator, data enthusiast. Yeah, I love that it's not just a job title there. You're going about what you're passionate about, but I would maybe even go a little bit further, talking or elaborating on the problem that most people are facing. Generally, if I'm thinking building better leaders, are your managers causing your customers to leave, or are your teams not getting any better, or do you have high turnover on your leadership teams? Whatever it may be, I would add a little bit more there because you've got so much more extra space to play with if you wanted to. About section done. You're active on the platform. Love to see that. And I will accept your connection request because you just nailed it out the park there. Amber.
Oh, this is lovely. This caught my attention. Human, kind, serenity of life. I know where you work. I still don't know what you do. Something in finance. I think your picture is great. I actually think it stands out. It's a little bit different. It's got a little blue little banner around it. I could tell you put a lot of effort into it. You're smiling. I think it's solid. You're contributing to the platform. You're a top sales prospecting voice, which shows me some credibility there up at the top. Connecting top talent in the life insurance business with rewarding opportunities. I think you're a recruiter. Am I right? Go down.
Let's have a look down here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So just tell me, I'm in recruiting, so I knew exactly what you meant. So maybe at the top, just, tell me a little bit in a, easier way in the subject line, but you're sharing content. It's great. I don't think I would change too much here other than maybe simplifying that subject line a good bit for you. And on your recommendations, get a bunch of recommendations of people you placed.
Yeah, I love that so much as an ex-recruiter myself as well. And I will say I've seen a bit of a cliche that recruiters do with the connecting piece. So maybe it's, hey, looking for your next role in life insurance or looking for your next role / hire in life insurance. That way you're leading with exactly what can be done there as well. Anton, hit me with this one, Darren.
Cool. Sweet. If your clients kept returning with ever-growing checks, how would your company's success transform? I don't know. Tell me a little bit more. What's the company name? I think it might be Transform. I'm not too sure. I think the picture is solid. I'm a little confused here, right? So at the very beginning, I think picture's great. I think the colors are awesome. It's warm and inviting. I don't know what you do. At first, it looks like you work at Y Combinator, but then I thought you worked at Transform. And then coming down, I don't know where you work. And so only reason that Y Combinator is there is because, I don't know, you might be working for yourself, right? Which would be, you don't have your page set up yet. Once you set up your page, that'll then go up to the Y Combinator side. So just you need to do a little bit of work there. And then after that, I think it would look solid. And then tell us what you do for the firm that you're building.
Katie Davis. There might be just a little opportunity here to add a little bit more context to all this empty space. You can even keep this here and then just say, a little bit more. Photo, lovely. Love the smile. That looks really professionally done as well. Nice camera, obviously. Helping organizations improve the employee experience, reduce costs of corporate relocation. I think that's really good.
I think
that does create the question of how does corporate relocation improve those things, which is a good thing, I guess. Curiosity there. But Darren, what do you think about the headline?
I would just corporate relocation sucks and we make it better.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, or if you can't say that, say, corporate relocation is a terrible experience, and we help that experience.
Stop losing people every time you move office.
This one's hard on my eyes, but I just said I like, right? You're smiling, great. I would get it a little bit closer. Your face seems small. I can't really see you there too much. Other than that, it's a great picture. Just zoom in a little bit on you. Vice President, IBA Group, aligning tech and business growth. Tell me more. I think this is a common theme with everybody. Tell me more. I want to know more because you have 3.5 seconds. And then if you scroll down, featured section is there. It looks like you're reposting some stuff, posting some stuff. Great. I love it. Probably commenting a good bit. Common theme here, what I'm seeing, like just as a creator here and also as somebody that like sells a lot, is like comments are huge because you want people to actually land on this page, and that's how they land on your page. So I like it. So first things first here. I think the picture's going to be low res. If you click into it, it's blurry to me already, a little bit blurry there.
Low contrast, I think it might be.
Aeronox is crooked. A little bit in my mind. So like just spend a little bit of time making sure that all of this, especially because you have the word precision in here, I'm thinking to myself like, oh, this is not precisely done in the top part. And then the logo, the word is behind your face. So just slide it over a little bit, which I think is great. Vice President of Sales at RevD USA, strategic selling. I would put that new market light gauge SSF strip, like it looks like you sell to a very specific ICP. And quite frankly, in your industry, a lot of this stuff probably doesn't matter because you probably have the best product and they're just going to call you because you're Ruben and they know who you are already. But there are a couple of things that you could do to find, you know, those new buyers in the market. Looks like your about section is there. You actually have a services page built out, which is very rare. I don't normally see that very often, which I like.
I'm going to make the promise, and last time I regret this, but I'm going to send every single person who sent the link that we didn't get to because you were brave and you put it out there, and this isn't an easy thing to do to receive feedback. I'm going to still do your video after this is finished over the next half an hour. Expect a ton of videos to be going through, but I really enjoyed this, Darren, and your comments were great. You taught me something as well. Anything you want to finish off with? Where can people find you, Darren?
On LinkedIn, and I'm not going to send videos to all of you. But no, this was awesome. You can find me on LinkedIn and hit me up whenever. I'd love to chat.
Absolutely. And thank you everyone so much for getting involved here. I was worried we were going to get no one send us the links, and I know how hard it is to put yourself out there for feedback. It just shows a great trait, especially for salespeople, when you're willing to get stuff like this. So thank you ever so much for attending. Hope you learned something. Hope your LinkedIn profile is all going to get shined up, and we can show the people who didn't show up to this show why they should have by connecting with more people on LinkedIn. Thank you ever so much. Again, sellbetter.xyz for all past shows, recordings, and future upcoming shows. And again, big thank you to Align for being the partner for today's show. Peace, love, sales.